Hello and welcome to the old Fliers. In a recent video, I mentioned that in the 1920s and 30s, butt joints and flush riveting were first used for metal-skinned aircraft. This resulted in smoother airflow, reducing drag and increasing speed and lift. In 1929, the Hall H-1 flying boat was the first to use this method of construction. Most famously, Howard Hughes insisted on flush rivets for his new design, the H-1 Racer. This was the last privately funded aircraft to win the world speed record. A man of singular focus and extreme wealth, Hughes employed Glenn Oderkirk to design and build a record-beating aircraft. The aircraft was given many names, but is commonly known as the H-1. It was the first aircraft type produced by the Hughes Aircraft Company. Studies into its form began in 1934 with an exacting scale model which was over 2 feet in length. This was tested by the California Institute of Technology in their wind tunnel, revealing a speed potential of 365 miles per hour. If you watched my last video, you will have learnt that Theodore von Karman was offered a job by Caltech to design this wind tunnel. Streamlining was a paramount design criterion, resulting in what has been retroactively described as one of the cleanest and most elegant aircraft designs ever built. Many groundbreaking technologies were developed during construction, including individually machined flush rivets that left the aluminium skin of the aircraft extremely smooth. The H-1 had retractable main landing gear and a fully retractable, hydraulically actuated tail skid to reduce the drag of a conventional wheel and maximise speed. It was fitted with a Pratt & Whitney R1535 twin-row 14-cylinder radial engine of 1,535 cubic inches, originally rated at 700 horsepower but tuned to produce over 1,000 horsepower. To contest both maximum speed and long-distance racing records, the original short-span high-speed wings were replaced with a set of longer ones for long-distance flights. The H-1 had a two-bladed constant-speed propeller. At that time, the world's absolute speed record was 440.7 miles per hour, held by a Macchi MC-72 seaplane set in October 1934. The land plane record was 314.32 miles per hour, averaged by Raymond Del Motte in a Quadron C-450. On the 13th of September at Martin Field near Santa Ana, California, Hughes broke the land plane speed record, clocking 352.39 miles per hour, averaged over 4 time passes. The aircraft was loaded with a minimal amount of fuel to keep the weight down, and Hughes was not supposed to make the 3rd and 4th passes. Exhausting the fuel supply, he crash-landed in a field south of Santa Ana without serious damage to either himself or the aircraft. When his companions arrived at the crash site, Hughes said, "We can fix her, she'll go faster." On January 19, 1937, a year and a half after setting the land plane speed record in the H-1, Hughes broke his own transcontinental speed record by flying non-stop from Los Angeles to New York City in 7 hours, 28 minutes and 25 seconds, smashing the previous time of 9 hours, 27 minutes by 2 hours. His average speed over the flight was 322 miles per hour.
Just flown across America faster than any man has ever done it before, at an average speed of 332 miles per hour, breaking his own previous record.
Well, now we're flying from Burbank, California to New York in 7 hours 28 minutes is certainly some speed. Now, I understand that you flew at an average speed of 332 miles an hour. Is that correct?
Well, you're better at arithmetic than I am.
Well, is this the same ship that you set the world speed record of 352 miles an hour in?
Yes.
And what altitude did you fly coming across?
Most of the time about 14,000.
Did you use oxygen?
Yes.
Did you fly at any part of the time higher than that?
Yes, I was up to 20,000.
Did you
Considering that contemporary surface aircraft were still biplanes, Hughes fully expected the United States Army Air Corps to embrace his aircraft's new design and make the H-1 the basis for a new generation of US fighter aircraft. His efforts to persuade the Air Corps failed. In post-war testimony before the Senate, Hughes indicated that resistance to the innovative design was the basis for the rejection of the H-1. I tried to sell that airplane to the Army, but they turned it down because at that time the Army did not think a cantilever monoplane was proper for a pursuit ship. End of quote.
That you want to ask me while I am here, or will you give them to any third neutral party? Is it not true that you are going to propound the questions for me as I testify and based upon what I testify as I go along? Are you willing to set aside the questions in advance which you will ask me?
Mr. Hughes.
Aviation writer William Rager asserts that the H-1 racer inspired later radial engine fighters such as the Republic P-47 Thunderbolt, the Mitsubishi A6M Zero, and the Focke-Wulf Fw 190, without offering any arguments for that being the case other than Hughes showed them how it should be done. After the war, Hughes claimed that it was quite apparent to everyone that the Mitsubishi A6M Zero had been copied from the Hughes H-1 racer. He claimed the wing shape, tail design and general similarity of the Zero were derived from his racer. Jiro Horikoshi, designer of the Mitsubishi Zero, strongly denied the allegation of the Hughes H-1 influencing the design of the Japanese fighter aircraft. What Hughes actually asserted was that it seemed to him plain from the examination of the two that the Zero was substantially a copy. Employee L. Ludwig had given details of the pre-war inspection of the H-1 by Japanese generals at a New Jersey hangar. These are the statistics for the H-1 racer. The Hughes H-1 racer is featured in the 1940 RKO Radio Pictures movie Men Against the Sky, playing the role of a prototype McLean aircraft high-speed pursuit craft. In 1939, Hughes became the principal stockholder of TWA, then Transcontinental and Western Air Incorporated. He had a hand in the design and financing of both the Boeing Stratoliner and the Lockheed Constellation, which he acquired for TWA. When the Constellation was ready for its test flight in 1944, Hughes dressed the plane in TWA's signature red and flew it non-stop cross-country in under 7 hours, breaking his own 1937 transcontinental speed record. Although regular flights would not be non-stop, the Constellation marked an advance in regularly scheduled cross-country passenger service, cutting about 8 hours off the trip. During the Second World War, Hughes aircraft grew from a 4-person operation into an 80,000 employee giant. Hughes created Hughes Electronics as a division of Hughes Aircraft, and the new division became the single largest supplier of weapon systems to the US Air Force and Navy. Hughes Aircraft subsequently became hugely profitable in the early 1950s. The original H-1 racer was donated to the Smithsonian in 1975 and is on display at the National Air and Space Museum. Thank you for watching. Support for the channel is appreciated. Drop a note in the comments where you are watching this video from.